What are we talking about, Brent Bishop?
We are talking about longevity.
The general reason we're here is to tell folks about what we're kind of up to these days, which is partly discovering the healthiest person alive, hoping to find this person somewhere on the planet.
We'll find you.
I think we're going to talk a little bit tonight about what GLP-1s are, the trend. Yeah, let's unpack that. Yeah. It's a beast.
It is
but
a beast.
Healthiest person alive. This concept was born, a decade ago in a mission.
It was.
Our mission to literally scour the planet and figure out who is that, not necessarily one person, but who are those people that live not just to 100,
right,
but live
well
beyond, they're 90. What are the secrets behind those? What is the nutrition tips, supplement tips, but primarily
socialization, exercise.
Right.
There's so many reasons.
And I suppose in the theme of 9 rounds, we are going to be giving everyone here a round by round, up to 9 round tips and tricks.
We're unpacking 9 items that you do not want to miss.
Right. Longevity is not an accident. It's built. And the foundation really comes down to your 4 physical pillars, right? So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 here. Yep. Basically determine how you age. So what are they? Strength, stability, aerobic efficiency, and of course, peak aerobic output.
Yes.
We hear a lot about those things. And I look at this kind of like a pyramid, right? Where aerobic efficiency is at the bottom. And you can kind of, like, that can be a width or a breadth. And the peak of this pyramid, peak efficiency, is right there at the top. And that's elevation. So you can, the wider you are, I suppose, and the higher you are.
Yeah.
So the bigger you can build this pyramid. But essentially, when these 4 things are strong, your body burns fuel cleanly. Your brain, by the way, stays sharp. Your metabolism stays flexible. And your overall risk of frailty drops dramatically, right?
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about. So you lose even one, and the entire system starts to decline. So we're going to show you how to build all 4, simply, effectively, and in a way that fits real life. Right behind us, we got a bunch of people at 9 round here in Thornhill, and they're building their aerobic conditioning, and we're going to tell folks a little bit later on about how they're doing that. This is a blueprint for staying strong, capable, and energetic for decades to come.
So what I want to share
Yeah.
are these 2 items I have here. One is fat, one is muscle. They're significantly different in size, but they both weigh 1 pound. So muscle, of course, is much more dense, and the fat takes up a lot more space. They have a lot of different functions. I know it looks like a little bicep or something, but these are exactly the same, but they are completely different inside your body. Okay? As a fitness expert for almost 30 years, dating myself here, it comes very clear that there's a clear pattern. The ratio determines your future. So more of this and less of this, and how to maintain this, more importantly, is extremely important.
Wait, let me stop you for a second, though. It's not none of this. It's just less of this.
Not none of this.
Right?
Yes.
Because fat can be healthy at a certain ratio.
And we'll get into that. So it's not, just how long you live, but how well you live. So I always say, it's not putting more years on your life necessarily. It's healthy years on your life. And many people reach out to me saying, I feel lighter, but I'm slower, or I get tired so easily. I'm losing definition even though I'm losing weight. These are all very common things, and they're all red flags to me for muscle loss, not just fat loss.
Right.
And that matters more than people realize. So muscle is the most important organ for your health span. It's not your heart, it's not your lungs. What is it? It's not your liver. It improves your strength and independence and ages. It does decrease with age, of course.
We lose it naturally. We do lose it naturally.
And we'll get into.
But it's about slowing down that loss.
Slowing it down.
Right.
We want to enhance our metabolism, improve our insulin sensitivity, and even improve our brain health by keeping more of this on.
Let's open up this and unpack this concept of GLP-1s. These are medications like Ozempic, Wegovy, Mounjaro. They're changing the world, and there's this critical part, we think, of this story that folks are missing entirely. Yes, they lower appetite. Yeah, exactly. We're seeing muscle loss. And these are not all bad. No, I'm not saying GLP-1s are bad, but there are issues around them. When appetite drops, of course, protein drops. And when protein drops, muscles can't grow. So therefore we lose muscle mass. That, of course, means that the scale goes down. Muscle weighs more than fat in a given ratio, but so does the very tissue that protects your metabolism. We keep saying it. That's your strength, your long-term health, governed by, of course, muscle.
Yeah.
So This is weight loss people are identifying from GLP-1 use, but it's not always healthy weight loss. So the real goal is losing fat while keeping muscle, and that requires a specific strategy, and that's actually exactly what we're unpacking, is a strategy. So let's talk about that. I mean, muscle versus fat. I mean, what do we got?
Yeah, I mean, they're not equal players.
Right.
Right? I mean, as you mentioned, it is important to have some some fat and keep muscle. So we lose about 5% of your muscle mass every decade after the age of 30. So that is a steady decline that we can have an impact on maintaining. But when you lose muscle, especially if it's significant, you can't get off the ground properly, can't get off the toilet, insulin sensitivity changes, you lose function, brain health declines, the studies show it over and over. So we definitely want to show you, how to maintain and improve this dense, lean tissue we call muscle, and how to, use fat as storage, but drop fat, but not drop all your fat, because some of it, even intramuscular fat, is important for your energy.
So what I heard you say is that it burns fuel, it stabilizes blood sugar, essentially, produces, we call these myokines, by the way, that control inflammation. Cytokines, not all inflammation is bad. Inflammation is necessary to manage the immune system. Got a lot of noise in the background. Folks are very excited to be working out here at 9 Round, and it's pretty intense. And they're producing their own myokines, which are also very important. Again, as I was saying, cytokines, myokines, these are all aspects of the immune system that are both pro-inflammatory and anti-inflammatory, and that balance, the scales of justice, are very important. And once again, this does support one of the most important organs, the brain between the ears. So fat is storage, necessary, yes, but it's passive, right? So this stuff here, not burning fuel at rest, sitting on the couch, we're Netflixing. This isn't doing it for you, but the more of this you have in storage, the more you build,
even at rest.
more metabolic. So your future health really depends on this ratio between the two. The more muscle means better metabolism, cleaner energy, sharper thinking, stronger immunity. So again, bottom line, before we move on, is more fat, less muscle. More fat and less muscle is the exact opposite of what you want. You want more muscle, less fat. So what drives all this, Brent Bishop?
Wow. What does drive it all?
I don't know, but I brought a cell from home, and this is not to bring you to, back to 11th grade biology necessarily, but it will.
It looks pretty complicated, but it is an amazing design. This cell.
What do you remember? What do you remember from 11th grade biology?
Things, ribosomes. I remember, the nucleus, all the major ones.
By the way, this is my area of focus these days,
Mitochondria
folks, is DNA.
Yeah.
And there's a whole aspect to genetics, our predisposition to building muscle mass and fat tissue storage. A lot of it's unraveled within the DNA, and that's for another day. But let's focus in on these little, brightly colored orange bean-looking things.
Yep.
What are they?
What do you think they are?
Well, I know what they are, Mr. Rogers. They are mitochondria. But mitochondria really are what every single cell of your body, highest concentration in your muscle and also in the heart. We'll get back to the heart in terms of cardiovascular aerobic activity in a second. But these mitochondria make the currency of energy in every single cell of your body, primarily in your muscles. They make ATP. That means they're making the energy that your metabolism needs to be fired up. It's the engine of every cell. And it also means it's how quickly, the less of these that you have, the faster you're going to age, the more that you're tired. Trained muscle keeps these engines young, right? That's it, bottom line. And in fact, under a microscope, well-trained muscle from a 70-year-old, which is really interesting, can look almost identical to that of someone in their 20s.
It's amazing.
That's really interesting to me. So you lose muscle, especially on these GLP-1s, those engines decline fast. All these mitochondria, these guys, they start falling out. They start falling away. These orange guys here, they start disappearing. So less muscle means fewer mitochondria. That's it. Bottom line, less energy, slower metabolism, and of course, accelerated aging. Right.
The list goes on.
So
let's put on some muscle.
Right. Let's do that. And this is, by the way, this is why protecting your muscle isn't optional. It's the key to staying young at this very cellular level.
Yeah. We might even want to talk about, just briefly, the intramuscular fat and how it's different between athletes versus sedentary people, because that's an important, people who are athletic and work out and train on a regular basis, they use fat much more differently than sedentary people do, which I think is important to address. So we talked about the mitochondria, the fat, these small little pockets of fat in athletes sit close to mitochondria, which is that powerhouse, so it can use the fat as energy more efficiently. Whereas sedentary people, they become clusters, further away from your mitochondria, less ability to be used properly as energy, so way less efficient.
Interesting.
We're gonna put that to work right about now.
Well, are we? Are
Yes,
we
we
getting
are.
into that right now?
We're
What are
getting
we going
into
to do?
Follow me, follow
All
me.
right.
Okay, so one of the important things I want to talk about is we're going to talk about how to build strength properly, some key aspects on how you can really maintain strength safely as you age, and what to do. So Bryce, I'm going to get you to probably come in here.
I'm doing this?
Yeah, why not? So we're going to get into an exercise that is a very short stance lunge called a kickstand squat or kickstand lunge. You want to get into position based on your knees and your joint stability, that sort of thing. You want to get your knee in line with the ankle. Okay, we're going to hold this like a goblet, posture nice and tall. We're going to come up, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so we're purposely going slower to add that time under tension, which is going to help stimulate muscle growth and create a little bit of strain, but again, something that's safe.
While I do this, and correct me if I'm wrong,
Yes.
explain to us the difference between eccentric and eccentric.
So eccentric is when you're going down on this exercise. Concentric is coming up.
Okay.
So there's a lot of benefit in eccentric lifting. Okay.
Am I doing this
Time
right?
under tension, you can lift. You're doing it very well. Just put the weight in the heel. You can lift a lot more when you're going eccentric, quite a bit more than you can concentrically. And going slow, it's great for rehab. It's safer exercise-wise for those who are a bit of older population. And you feel it, right? You feel the burn, that
really
time
do
under
feel it.
tension.
Here's the thing. People are not falling when they're climbing stairs.
That's
Not
right.
eccentric. They're falling when it's
Right,
concentric,
coming down,
when they're
right?
landing.
Yeah.
And this is doing both for them, right? It's establishing it's establishing that I'm landing on the next step. What's the number one cause of death?
Frailty.
Frailty,
Yep,
right? And how do we
frailty.
prevent frailty?
You build muscle, keep muscle on. That's going to strengthen the bones. That's going to give you the balance, the stability, the agility to catch your fall if you are falling. And I don't know why a lot of people aren't doing this, because it's something that everybody can do at any level. I mean, we know 70, 80-year-olds who are operating like they're 30, 40
Right.
in many ways, right? Joint mobility is really important. I want to get you through one other
Yeah.
upper body exercise.
So that was good. I was feeling that in my
You feel the
legs.
legs? We're going to do something similar, time under tension, with your upper body. So we're going to
Okay.
go down onto the ground here into a push-up. All right, so this can be done by the knees or the feet, by the way, so all levels. We're going to come down, keep the elbows pretty close to your body, and I'm going to get you to just gently shift towards me. Shift to the other side. Don't go too far. Back to center. Exhale, drive up. Try it again. So down,
Yeah.
shift right, shift left, back to center. Exhale, press. Good. So
You know what I love about that, by the way? Most of us are doing these sort of unilateral movements
Right,
in the gym,
right.
just one, the machines do that for us.
Yeah.
One thing I love about this nap move behind us, right?
Yeah.
A lot of boxing, moving, is that's what prepares you for real life out there.
real life.
Right?
I'm not going to always
Balance,
fall like this.
Right.
I'm going to fall like this. I mean,
right? Not everything is a bench press. I'm
Yeah.
over to the left, I'm over to the right. This is balance, proprioception,
Joint
prevention
stability,
of falling.
prevention of falling, strengthening of the tendons.
Right.
Again, you can tailor it down based on your ability.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, and you called that time under tension.
Time under tension.
What's that
So,
going to do for the muscle?
It's going to stimulate mTOR, as you know, which is going to perpetuate the whole process of protein synthesis. You're going to build muscle, as I mentioned, safely as well. So you get those nice microscopic tears in the muscle, which happens. Okay, a little bit of inflammation. This is all, a stimulus that is something that has to happen for protein synthesis to gain muscle. So you need the recovery as well, which is really important, right? So you break down the body safely, and then you build it back up with recovery, proper nutrition, sleep, all these things we hear about all the time.
So I'd love to point out that cardiovascular exercise, cardio, heart,
Yep.
is all about getting the left ventricle being able to pump more blood out to the body for delivery of nutrients and, of course, oxygen, and that's necessary. We don't want to stop doing that.
Right.
We want to stop but people are over-focused, I think, a lot of the time on how we have to engage in cardio to drop those fat pounds.
100%.
And what we're looking to do with GLP-1s, of course, is to lose fat, but unfortunately, again, we're losing the muscle.
That's the
But
big
when
problem.
we're building through this time under tension, we're building muscle, just remind folks what is happening to fat tissue at rest.
Fat tissue at rest, you're burning more of it.
Right.
The more muscle, lean muscle you have on your body, the more you're burning the fat at rest. So it elevates your metabolism. All your body's processes become more efficient when you have more muscle on your body. That's plain and
Bottom
simple.
line. Okay.
Bottom line.
So let's get into nutrition, because a lot of folks have questions around nutrition. And the idea that when you're on a GLP-1, nutrition becomes this whole, issue around, well, how many calories? You're less hungry. Let's remind folks this whole idea that, you don't want to count calories, but you definitely do want to appreciate what those calories are and, of course, where they come from. And the 4-4-9 rule, I want to start there. The idea that, there's 4 calories per pound, per gram of protein. There's 4 calories per gram of carbohydrates that we consume, and there's 9 calories per gram of fat. So fat's got a higher caloric per volume.
Right.
It's quite simple. So we want to appreciate that, and then we want to understand micronutrients. But when you're on a GLP-1, nutrition is absolutely key. You want to make sure it's clean. You want to make sure that you're achieving particularly enough protein.
I think folks should really understand what the GLP-1 is really doing for your body. It's not making you lose weight directly.
Well, what's it doing?
It's reducing your appetite. And the problem is, that means all nutrients. You don't have the same appetite that you used to. So you're going to eat less protein, less fat, less, everything. So it's really important to be aware. We'll talk about a little later, obviously, how you can enhance protein synthesis and maintenance through supplementation. But I think that's an important distinction, because I have clients that come to me all the time and they're like, I need to be on a GLP-1. They look great, for the most part, and they're not realizing that it's not something that's going to make them just shed a bunch of weight, fat weight. It's going to decrease their appetite, and their nutrition will suffer because of that if they're not educated on the importance of that.
Right. So no magic to this. When you're on a GLP-1, nutrition becomes more important, not less important, right? So these medications, as you just said, Brent, they lower appetite. That means that most people unintentionally cut protein. I wanted to come back to that, and how much is enough. And that is, of course, the fastest way to lose muscle. It's the fastest way to slow your metabolism, and of course, trigger the very rebound weight that everyone's worried about. The less muscle you have after this drop of massive pounds, the more you're going to actually rebound into more carrying of fat tissue. So you don't need more food, you need the right food, and that means prioritizing protein at the first and last meal of the day. That means aiming roughly for 30 to 50 grams each time. I'm talking broad strokes here for the average person. And that's 150.
Aim for 1 gram per pound.
Per pound.
It's hard to get that for a lot of people.
So I'm 200 pounds.
But aim for it.
I'm
and
200
then
pounds.
Get 80% of it.
So I'm 200 pounds. I want approximately 200 grams. I want to start my day with 50 to 80 grams. I want to end my day with 50 to 80 grams and find the rest in between.
Yes.
Right?
There you go.
Protein protects and builds muscle. Muscle protects the mitochondria that we talked about, and mitochondria protect your long-term health. So if you're losing, too much muscle, you're losing the battle. If you're using these GLP-1s, your nutrition plan isn't a side note. It's the actual difference between healthy fat loss and healthy muscle loss. That's it, bottom line.
Bingo.
Supplements, because people always want to know about supplements. I mean, that's one of our areas of expertise. There's a lot of supplements in this supplement bin that we can talk about, but why don't we get into some of the
you
ones?
and I have some key ones that we supplement with daily. We have you have patients and clients that also do.
Let's start with this guy. Let's start with HMB.
Beta-hydroxybutyl methylbutyrate. Long fancy name for something that does some amazing things for your body. It hits both sides of that protein equation. So it helps you increase, and it helps decrease degradation of muscle as well.
Right.
So it's a combo that's important.
Right, and you can use this in combination with
creatine or GLP, and with the GLP-1,
right? Necessary. So here, let's frame this up. When you're on a GLP-1, your supplement strategy actually becomes a critical part of the nutrition component.
Yes.
You're not talking about taking, in this case, HMB because you're going to otherwise find it in your diet and it's a supplement against
right.
You're actually using it as a therapeutic intervention to prevent that muscle loss. So because appetite drops, protein drops, and when your protein drops, your muscle tissue is at risk, you can't afford not to take HMB. That's going to help to prevent that whole thing. That's where these targeted supplements come into making a measurable difference. How about the mitochondria and what it's doing with things like I had here creatine?
Oh, creatine. Well,
what's that going to do for us?
Creatine is going to help in many ways. I mean, it's going to help from if you are exercising too. It combined with HMB, I like that combination because it's going to help build more strength, especially in the lower body, means less chance of fall, less chance of risk of falling and frailty. also, as we know now, slightly higher dose for brain health
Right.
is really
So
important.
it's not all about the muscles. So
It's no more the gym bros and you know the big beefy guys that have to take something like this. I mean, it's something that's great for the entire population,
Right.
for health.
So HMB helps to slow muscle breakdown. And by the way, also especially when calorie intake is low, and creatine supports strength, power,
Yeah.
cognition, and it helps to maintain lean mass even when essentially training volume dips,
That's
right?
right.
It helps to sort
That's
of
right.
keep that muscle mass on.
Yeah.
Okay, last but not least, ingredients like D-ribose, NAD, nicotinamide riboside, for nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. Now I'm going to stop with the long words, but NAD is a direct fuel for the mitochondria. These tend to dip, you know,
Yeah.
when we are taking these kinds of medications that ultimately drop weight, as we talked about, but also drop appetite, and then we start to lose on that mitochondrial fuel. So NAD, anything that precursors NAD. In fact, if you talk to Charles Brenner, he's going to tell you nicotinamide riboside as something to supplement with. If you talk to you know, the folks at Harvard and that anti-aging group there, you know, they're going to tell you about nicotinamide mononucleotide, NMN. Whatever you choose, you should get on something that's going to help to support NAD. Ultimately, this is energy production. It's essential when your metabolic rate is changing. Last but not least, a high-quality B complex, which supports methylation, red blood cell production, and the cellular energy pathways that often struggle under calorie restriction or calorie reduction, which again just naturally happens through GLP-1 medication. Because not only is this preventing you know, you feeling hungry, slowing down the gastric emptying, it's slowing down your entire digestive system, and it doesn't matter what you consume, a lot of that is actually not even absorbed to begin with.
So these supplements aren't necessarily add-ons. They're something that should be part of your regular routine if you're on a GLP-1, right?
Absolutely. So again, folks, if you're using a GLP-1, combining adequate protein with HMB, creatine, NAD support, and a B complex gives you a far better chance of losing fat while keeping the muscle that keeps you healthy. Okay, so training tips to retain muscle. I mean, we did a lot of those. Any other additional?
I like to go for compound movements as well because it's more bang for your buck, right? When you're training something, for example, that squat that you did was great. If you do that and you also go into an overhead press, for example, you're getting more muscles active at once, more muscle fibers active at once. You're working on joint strength, coordination, heart rate goes up, so you're getting the cardiovascular benefit. By the way, you don't have to do, you know, 30, 45 minutes on a cardio machine to get cardio. You know, you can do this by getting strength work in a certain way. Compound movements, multi-joint movements are going to drive that heart rate up. You're going to improve your VO2 max. You're going to improve your cardiovascular base, which, as we know, are also great factors for longevity.
Constantly challenge your body, folks. The right kind of training, you know, sends a signal to your body that muscle is working for you. It's there, it's active, it's trying to drive things. It's sending a signal that muscle is essential even when appetite is lower or calories themselves are reduced, right? So you know, at the end of the day, you can't get away from exercise. If anything, you might actually even have to do more. We're gonna, in a moment here, we're gonna bring folks around 9 round.
Yep.
You know, and you're gonna take us through how to train in a way that, you know, again, really helps to protect muscle using the 9 round way. But protecting muscle, building muscle, supplementing to add to the mitochondria to fuel more muscle. That's what it's all about. Before we do that, let's talk a little bit about testing. You know, folks, you know, they want to understand what ways can I test my body to know whether or not I'm in a healthy state, you know, to know whether or not I should consider, you know, additional supplementation or medication for that matter.
I mean, one of the easiest, kind of most inexpensive ways to test, as we know, a lot of us know grip strength is highly related to longevity and decreased mortality. So using something like a simple hand dynamometer, again, you can buy this for what, like $15 off Amazon, so it doesn't cost much. Test your grip strength. I know we always have our competitions with this. I don't know if we'll do that this time because I'm tired of beating them, but test your grip strength on a regular basis. You simply just squeeze it, set it for your setting, your age, your sex. It gives you a readout. That's going to tell you where you are on the general population.
What a very predictable marker, though.
Very predictable marker, yeah. The lower your grip strength, you know, all the things we talked about go downhill.
Yeah.
I mean, even your ability to carry groceries, you know, to open a jar when you get older, these things are all included with grip strength. So the two big things for me are grip strength test with this. Also, testing your lower body strength. A little more challenging to do it. You could do a wall sit where you're at 90 degrees, hold that for as long as you can. Testing it on a regular basis, and then doing a lot of these exercises like Bryce just did are going to help improve that score over time. So it's also about taking a look at where you've come from, seeing the progress as you continue, because that's going to equate to more lean mass and just really better independence as we age.
And these things are really not that expensive, right? Amazon, 60 bucks.
50, 60, 15.
15.
I got one for 15. That's a digital readout.
Okay.
Yours is a little more fancier than mine, so maybe yours. I'm not as fancy as you.
Check in with this though, because again, as soon as grip strength goes down, that's representative of the rest of your body. Things to ask your doctor about. If you're using a GLP-1 and you're concerned about aging too quickly, testing becomes one of the most important tools that you have. And not to chase numbers, but to make sure that you're losing the right kind of weight. That's what we're talking about, and keeping the muscle and metabolic stability to protect your long-term health. Another thing folks can start with is a DEXA scan, right? So you're lying down in this flatbed. It's essentially, minimal x-rays. It's the gold standard for seeing exactly how much fat you're losing and exactly how much lean mass you're keeping. And a scale won't tell you that. I don't care if you're on the most fancy BMI sort of scale. DEXA can, down to the gram.
And what's most important is that lean mass ratio, right? It's not your BMI. It's not your body weight index.
Right.
It's your lean weight versus your height.
Okay, so let's talk a little bit about metabolic markers before we hit the floor. A1C, glycosylated hemoglobin. That's how your red blood cells are managing to pick up sugar and carry them around the body and holding on to them too long. It's a 3-month average. Fasting insulin's helpful, fasting glucose is helpful, triglycerides, all of that's going to give you a picture. These tell you how your body's actually handling fuel, and basically, also as the medication changes your appetite and calorie intake, you'll see a lot of these start to improve, right? So they are doing some good that way. When it comes to hormones, test the right way. So you're looking for free hormone levels, not just total levels floating around in the body, free testosterone, that's a huge one, free estradiol, sex hormone binding globulin, DHEA, thyroid markers, which is a huge one, by the way. The thyroid is the most important organ for metabolism, so do it the right way. TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, free T3, free T4, and if possible, an RT3, return T3. So this all together, separately together, shows you how your body is adapting to rapid weight loss, and also changes in protein intake, because this shifts in the metabolic demand. Testing isn't overkill. It's how you ensure that GLP-1 medication translates into healthier metabolism, stronger muscle, and better longevity, not just
maybe
a smaller number on the scale.
At a sort of a simplistic level, having something like a watch tracker, that can give you your HRV, your heart rate variability, your VO2 max estimate. I mean, if you want a real test, you go with the ventilator and get the actual real test. But it gives you the surrogates. It gives you a marker. It gives you something to compare to, and it's something you can look at on a regular basis. Are you improving or are you going downhill?
Right. And just before you take us out onto the floor, Hormesis and technology. There's so much biohacking technology that's out there. So two of the most important for me are hormetic tools that we can use. Simple as cold exposure and sauna. So both trigger this stress, this stress that's not overkill, it's not too much. These responses that basically make your body more resilient, more energetic, and maybe even more metabolically efficient in some instances. So cold forces your system to adapt really quickly. It sends a sympathetic response, stress, but it's not overload, and ultimately that sharpens mitochondrial function. That's energy output. Activates brown fat, which, by the way, is the only fat in the body which is metabolic. It stabilizes blood sugar, improves the ability to regulate stress. Even 60 to 90 seconds of cold can actually create that hormetic exposure. You can go in the shower and do that every single morning. But what's your favorite hormetic stress?
What do you think?
I'm going to just take a stab in the dark and think exercise. I don't know.
Exercise is hormetic stress.
Right.
And again, one point to make is it's not about going overboard with anything, right? So it should be a stress that's moderate that your body can recover from. So, not doing a cold plunge for 20 minutes, for example. You don't want to throw your body into the other direction.
Then you start getting catabolic.
You start getting catabolic, exactly. So have the stressors, have the recovery, and you're going to see the result from that. Recovery is often more important or just as important as the stress you provide it, and especially as we age.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah. Let's show folks what's happening at 9 round.
Yeah. We're at 9 round. I'm gonna step in here, maybe try a couple of these exercises. Let's see how I fare out, and Bryce can talk about maybe what's happening to my body while I'm doing it. Walter, how are you?
Sure, I'm very good.
We got Walter from 9 Round here.
Walter, good to see you. I was just going to say, just quickly explain to us what we have going on. 9 Rounds is a very unique, interesting concept that essentially puts, folks that are interested in exercising in a very, sort of specific rounds that's based on the boxing model, I suppose.
Right, absolutely.
Tell us how long it takes and what happens.
So basically, 9-round workout is all about conditioning. And how do we do conditioning? Through kickboxing. So for us, it's all about boxing, repetitions, boxing, kickboxing, kicks, and high level of punching, strength. And we start with 9 rounds, of course. And every round is 3 minutes long, so the whole workout is only 30 minutes. The beauty about the workout is that you're working with trainers all the time, and we can up the level or lower the level to your level of fitness, so it works for everybody. And during the 30-minute workout, we're going to try to make you improve your cardio, your endurance, and your strength.
Love it.
That's great. And this is just proof, by the way, folks, that you don't need hours and hours of exercise to get a ton of benefits, right?
And one of the big benefits is that, we do kickboxing, and we also teach a little bit of martial arts.
Okay.
So we try to make everybody a master of the basics. So a master
like
of punching, a master of kickboxing. So we're not a dojo, we're not a karate or a taekwondo place, but we will teach you the basics.
Well, I want to see you make me a master of the basics right now.
I can do that. All right.
I was assuming we'd throw some gloves on for this.
I know.
All right, it's been a long while, Coach Walter. I don't know what I got here, but I'm gonna see what I got.
I think you're playing the part here. So, we're going to go with the basic combination that we're doing today.
Okay.
But we don't care if we lose the Instagram.
Jab. So, boom.
Again. One more. Now you're doing a jab cross.
Jab cross.
One more. Okay, now you're going to add the hook. Okay, so it's going to be a jab cross hook. Smoke.
Jab cross. You're challenging me here.
All right, double lift up.
One more. Now you're going to add after that hook a second cross.
There's more?
There's more. Oh, we can go endless. Let's go. Jab cross, hook cross. Whoa.
Oh yes. Whoa.
Whoa.
Just testing you.
One more. Now we're going to give me a duck.
Woo.
And a second cross. Okay, let's go. Jab, cross, hook, cross, duck, cross.
Yeah, let's walk through this a little slow first.
All right, let's go.
It's been a while. Jab, cross, hook, cross, duck, cross.
Hey!
Jab. Cross.
One more.
Ah!
Oh!
Hey!
Woo!
Nicely done. You know what I love about
3
that.
minutes per round?
You know what I love about that? I love first of all
Listen
that
how I'm breathing.
the athlete is out of breath, but I also love there's so many elements to this. There's not only
Oh my God,
strength,
yeah.
there's not only cardio, you're clearly winded, but there's coordination and a lot of brain, a lot of thought. Because I saw you're thinking. So these are structurally, physically, neuro-specifically the elements behind.
Keep in mind that one of us is 65 years old.
Nicely
Come
done.
on.
But how long have you been doing 9 round? And who's your trainer?
A couple of
I
months.
wanna know. So, I mean, what's happening there at the physiological level? We talked about it. The mitochondria. If you don't have that surplus, that storehouse of these little, we talked about that at the top, these little energy providers, they make the currency of energy for all of your cells, which are, supplying all of your organs, called ATP, adenosine triphosphate. If you don't have that surplus, you're not able to get to the end of your 9 rounds in any given day. So nutrition, supplementation, that's the base foundation, but it's showing up. It's showing up every single day. How many days a week do people need to participate?
A minimum of 3 and be consistent.
Right.
Yeah.
3 to 5, body always needs to rest. So we recommend 2-day rest.
Hormetic
for the
stress,
maximum.
people. Hormetic stress.
And it releases the stress, it releases
And that too,
anxiety.
yeah.
It's huge for that. So we all need it, especially nowadays, right?
Yeah.
So
Absolutely.
So it's half an hour,
half an hour.
3 to 5 days of the week.
Yep.
What
and you don't need to book yourself into a class. So you
Okay.
can come at any time.
Okay.
So we basically we run an open gym. So the moment you arrive, the trainer is going to greet you and bring you onto the floor, and we're going to start your workout.
That's
So
good.
At any time of your day, as long as we're open. And
Yeah.
so no booking to be made.
That's
Your
great.
health is an investment, never an expense. It's worth every cent. Get your butt out to 9 rounds somewhere. They're all over the place, everywhere, and wherever you live. In
There's
the
a
Toronto
9 round for
GTA,
sure.
Canada, North America. No, what I love also about the 9 round environment is that there's a lot of these Libert fitness tools, right?
I've been eyeing that in the corner for a little bit. I
yeah,
want to show you a little something with that.
And you just want to go online and you want to purchase something for the home to be able to manage your routine and even manage, by the way, a protocol through a GLP-1 drug,
Right.
to not lose that muscle mass. What are these?
Libert equalizers.
And, okay.
Amazing piece of equipment. You can do so many exercises on these. I'll show you some basics that are, they can be scalable, very scalable. First one's just more of a push-up. Okay, so I'll get you into that push-up. This time we're coming straight on, but as you come up, I'm going to get you to come forward into this position, go into a dip. Okay.
Okay.
So you can separate the two, obviously, but Bryce can handle this.
Well, my back, I don't know, I had a back surgery not too long ago.
So you
what
can
I'm doing-
walk through it too. You don't need to jump through it.
so
So
I'm
deep
gonna
push
do-
up,
yeah.
range of motion here.
Okay, then I
and
slip
then come
through.
through. Have your feet down.
And then
And then dip. So now you're working your triceps, shoulder stabilizers. There you
Nice.
go.
Okay,
and
yeah,
back.
that
So
I can handle, even with
Combo
the back
exercise,
surgery.
you can walk through it too, right? You don't need to jump through it like that.
Okay, I see. Yeah. So if somebody had to and they're not in that position, they could just do that.
They can walk through it, do a couple
Okay.
dips. And again, you increase the range of motion, of course, as your strength increases.
Yep.
You can drop them to the ground, go into more of a single position, and get into more of a mountain climber position.
yeah.
So go slow with these. Drive your leg in as far as you can. Feel that contraction through the core.
Okay.
Do that for a minute and see how you feel.
Yeah, I can already feel in the
Right?
abs.
So again, we're doing time under tension here
Yep.
as well. Right? So
Okay.
that's another one you can do. Again, you can get into crazy positions with it side to side, get a little cardiovascular element. One we'll go into is more of a pulling movement. You can use one or you can use both. But essentially, you'd sit down in the middle. And most of you who have seen these be used, you've seen this before. So we're working the postural muscles here. I'm going to get my heels down, pushing through the ground. Core tight, butt up off the ground. And I'm going to pull.
Oh, back. Yeah.
Exhale. Squeeze those blades together. And repeat. Okay, so again, based on your ability, you can walk yourself
Are
out a
these
little bit.
exclusive to upper body? Or
No,
can you do
not at
things
all.
with the, yeah?
Not at all.
Okay, bring us to the legs.
Let me bring it to the legs. So you can use it to put one foot up on.
Yeah.
So getting into more of a split squat. So right down and up. Add some weights to it if you have. You don't really need, we talked about time under tension. So you know that 3, 2, 1.
Yeah.
Getting that nice eccentric phase. Again, you can get into a lot of hip work over top of it. So lying on one side. I mean, it's endless.
Yeah.
Right? And the more you use these, by the way, the more creative you get with them.
So these are great for beginners, where we ask them to just give us kicks. So kick over
Yeah,
and back.
nice.
Kick over and back. So there is a target. So you can do front kicks, simple, but we use it as a target. Also side kicks, in and
Love
out.
it. Love it.
In and out. In and out. And for other people to start gaining stability and balance is huge. So we use this for all the exercises that you were mentioning,
Yeah.
but also to a lesser extent, less fit people, older people that they can
And help
do
them
stability and
progress
balance.
as they go
Absolutely.
along.
These are
That's-
great.
That's great. That's great. So what would you do with a kick with a somebody who's nice and young like me?
Oh, do you want to? No, so for you,
Would I actually hit something or?
Yes.
Oh boy.
This is a little bit of kickboxing, so I know I'm sure you've kicked before. So give me some round kicks.
Well, you give me the technique here.
There you
So
go.
I'm gonna come up again. Boxing and
Wait,
kickboxing.
wait, I'm
a
gonna
lot
make-
of hips and core here.
So this is what we use lever now. We're gonna go over that thing, in and out. Let's go.
What makes you think I can lift my leg that high?
Aha. And back.
Oh, so he moves back.
And back. There you go. Now let's see if the other side is just as good.
Oh, now you're really playing with me here.
Let's go. Come on, kick it. Nice. Whoa!
Oh, I didn't knock it over though.
All right, that was 5 push-ups. Eh? Let's go.
But it's a lot of hips, A lot of core happening there, a lot of muscles at once. We're getting some functional strength in there, power, speed.
Here's the
Watch
question
your
I
back. Watch your back if you try something.
I'm out. I'm out of those ones. These are endless. You can do a million different things. with
million
these. Clearly, they're motivational because you
So
know.
I have one for you then. Just go down on the floor. Just sit down. Yeah, sit down and have your feet in the middle.
Feet in the middle.
Yep, and
you're
just
gonna
a
go
little
hip
bit of core,
extension?
and then
Oh.
hands back, and then go over. Pop, pop, pop,
Oh, like
pop.
this?
Straight, no, straight legs, straight legs.
Oh, straight.
Both of them together.
Oh, both together.
Let's go.
Can you do it?
One,
Oh,
two. There you go. There you go.
not bad.
Okay.
You want to step it up?
Thanks so much. Thanks so much. That was
worries,
great.
no worries,
That was
yeah.
great.
Good work. So that's 9
I broke a little bit of a sweat there.
9 round in a nutshell. We get all kinds of questions coming through on a regular basis. The ones that we had in order to sort of summarize what we're talking about in terms of GLP-1s, we
We kind of hit that.
we did.
Yeah.
But let's just sort of summarize this as sort of a most important takeaway. As it pertains to the 9 rounds,
Yep.
if somebody's taking a GLP-1, that is absolutely not an excuse to stop exercising. If anything, it's exercising even
The impetus. You should do more. Yeah.
more, right?
Yeah.
Your favorite supplement when it comes to combined,
HMB,
which is
beta hydroxy beta methyl butyrate.
Okay,
The
and
tongue
what is it
twister.
gonna do?
It's going to help maintain muscle and it's going to decrease muscle degradation.
and I got to say, from a nutritional perspective, you have to make sure you're eating more protein.
100%.
And it's got to be that approximate 1 gram for every pound of body weight when it comes to
Especially on
when it comes
GLP-1s.
to protein.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And then lastly, I would say, once again, if you want to track your progress and test where you're at any given time, we talked about a few of those.
Yep.
The Apple Watch VO2 Max, heart rate variability, one of your favorites being.
Hand dynamometer.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I would say make sure you're tracking your A1C. That's easy enough to run with your family doctor. That's your glycosylated hemoglobin, and testing your hormones in the right way. One of my favorites, by the way, I'll just sort of add this, the Dutch test. This is a urine test, and what this looks at is downstream metabolites, not just what's floating around in your serum,
Right.
but all of the hormones that matter downstream, what you're peeing out. So
What's
serum
happening,
matters,
yeah.
but what's happening once these hormones have gone through your cells and are ultimately acting as they should? Often what we'll find is sex hormone binding globulin is elevated. That binds up and puts testosterone into jail, essentially. So a
yeah.
lot of guys are not just losing muscle because they're on a GLP-1, but because their testosterone's riding low normal because
Right,
their
right.
HSBG is high. And actually there's ingredients you can supplement for that as well. Beef protein's all the
protein,
rage now.
yes.
If you need to supplement with protein,
I love
you can't
this.
find it from natural protein. New Zealand Whey, we love the folks at Skinusa. Those guys are awesome. If you want to
I love
top
this.
up,
Yeah.
right? If you just want to top
But
up at the end of the day.
That's something worth noting is you can amp up your protein intake by just adding it to things like yogurt or oatmeal, or it doesn't always have to be shakes, right? So you just simply amp up the level of your protein by throwing it in there. Vanilla protein in a cup of oatmeal with some berries. You don't even notice it's there actually.
Right.
And right there you got it in 20-25 grams.
Part 1 of a 4-part series focused on longevity, getting to your oldest ages, ripest age, yes, but in highest health span and your best
right.
health possible. So today it was all about sort of the GLP-1 fat and what we can do to retain and maintain muscle mass. But we are going to be doing another 3 of these episodes at a 9 round in your local community. So join in next time, and we will have a lot more to share with you as to how you can be the healthiest person you can be, maybe even the healthiest person alive.
We don't know yet.
But if you are,
We haven't found that person.
we're coming to get you.
Thanks for tuning in.